We look at our dogs and cats and, well, we see fluffy innocent children. We dress them up, we buy them orthopedic beds, and we, project our human feelings onto them constantly, and in doing so, we are accidentally lying to them. We are force-feeding them myths that sound cute at the dog park, but are actually shortening their lives or damaging their trust in us. Today, we aren't just busting myths, we are going to look at your pet the way nature intended them to be seen. By the end of this video, you will never look at your fur baby the same way again. We are covering myths about guilt, about grass, about why cats are basically tiny chaos agents. Let's do this. Let's start with the scene we all know too well. You come home, the trash is everywhere, your dog is sitting in the corner with that look. You know the one, the droopy eyes, the tucked tail, the I'm so sorry face. We've all seen it. We think, he knows he did something wrong, he feels guilty. But we need to stop right there and rewind. That is not guilt. That is fear. Guilt requires complex moral reasoning, the ability to understand that an action was wrong and feel remorse for it. Fear, on the other hand, is a survival instinct. Here is what is actually happening. You walk in, your body language is stiff, your voice is different, you might be yelling. The dog has no idea why you are mad about the trash. To them, the trash was a fun activity that happened hours ago. They don't have the memory to connect your current anger to their past action. What they are reacting to is your anger right now. That look isn't I'm guilty. It's more like, oh no, the leader of my pack is furious at me and I don't know why. Please don't hurt me. When you punish a dog for that look, you aren't teaching them not to eat the trash. You are actually teaching them to be terrified of you when you come home. The myth of the guilty dog breaks the trust between you. So, next time you see that face, just realize they need reassurance, not a timeout. Now, let's move to something we see as a universal sign of happiness, a wagging tail. It seems easy enough, right? A wagging tail means a happy dog. Well, wrong. That is a myth that gets people bitten every single day. A tail is really a communication tool, not a happiness meter. Think of it like a human smile. You can smile because you're happy, but you can also smile because you're nervous, or because you're about to deliver some bad news, or, even because you're a serial killer. The context matters. If the tail is wagging in a wide, sweeping arc, and the hips are moving with it, that's a happy dog. But if the tail is held high and rigid, wagging in short, sharp vibrations, that's not joy. That's a dog in a state of high arousal. It could be alert, anxious, or preparing to assert dominance. In the dog world, that's the equivalent of a clenched fist, not a wave. You really have to watch the whole body, not just the tail. A stiff body combined with a vibrating tail is a clear signal to back away slowly. Let's go outside to the backyard now. Your dog lowers its head and starts munching on grass. You think, he ate grass to settle his stomach. It's the most common explanation. The dog is a self-medicating physician. Here is the problem with that. Studies have shown that less than 25% of dogs actually vomit after eating grass, and the majority of grass-eating dogs show no signs of illness beforehand. So, if they aren't sick, why do they do it? Here is the new, more interesting theory. It's called the gut clearance hypothesis. Wild canids, wolves, and foxes eat a ton of grass, not to vomit but because grass contains roughage. In the wild they eat entire prey animals, fur, bones, and guts. That fur acts as a scrub brush, cleaning out parasites from their intestines. Domestic dogs don't eat fur anymore. So, some scientists believe they eat grass to replicate that roughage effect, to help move things along and scrub the gut, not to induce vomiting. Or, there is another theory, and this one is my favorite. Maybe they just like the taste. It's crunchy, it's green, it's there. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, and sometimes a dog eating grass is just a dog eating a salad. Now let's shift to our feline friends and a behavior that drives owners crazy. A cat sits on a shelf. It stares intently at a glass of water. Slowly, deliberately, it reaches out and pushes it off the edge. The glass smashes. We have all seen this video. The cat, looking you dead in the eye, slowly pushing your favorite mug off the table. And we think, he's being a jerk. He's getting revenge because I didn't feed him on time. Okay, so, this is the biggest myth in the feline world. Cats are not spiteful. They do not possess the cognitive architecture for spite. Spite requires you to imagine how someone else will feel when you do something bad. Cats simply do not care about your feelings enough to seek revenge. So why do they do it? Well, there are two reasons. First, they are testing their environment. Cats use their paws to investigate objects. They are wondering, is this thing alive? Will it move if I boop it? It's pure curiosity. Second, and maybe even more importantly, they are bored. If a cat pushes a pen off the desk and it clatters to the floor, you, the human, jump up and make a loud noise. To the cat, you just performed a magic trick. You reacted. You entertained them. You have now been trained. It's not revenge, it's physics, boredom, and accidentally training your human to be a circus clown. Finally, we need to talk about the biggest myth of all, the billion-dollar myth. The idea that our pets are just one step away from being wolves or African wildcats, and therefore they should eat like cavemen. You see it everywhere. Grain-free, ancient grains, ancestral diet. Here's the evolutionary truth. Yes, dogs descended from wolves, but they didn't just descend, they diverged. About 15,000 years ago, as humans settled into agricultural societies, some wolves started hanging around our garbage dumps, eating our scraps, which included things like barley and wheat. The wolves that could digest those starches survived. The ones that couldn't, didn't. This actually changed their DNA. Modern dogs have genes, specifically the AMY2B gene, that are specifically designed to digest starch and grains, something wolves cannot do effectively. We literally evolved them to eat our leftovers. The myth of the grain-free wolf has led to a rise in boutique grain-free diets that replace grains with peas, lentils, and legumes, and recently the FDA has been investigating a potential link between these diets and a fatal heart disease in dogs called DCM. Look, some dogs have allergies. But for the vast majority of healthy dogs, grains are not fillers. They are nutrients. The myth that grain is bad is a marketing ploy that plays on our nostalgia for a wild past that our pugs and Persian cats never actually had. Our pets live in our world, they sleep in our beds, they eat from our hands, but they experience that world through a completely different set of rules. The more we strip away our human assumptions, the guilt, the revenge, the happy tale, and see them for the beautiful, complex, ancient creatures they are, the better we can love them. Which of these myths blew your mind the most? Did you believe in the guilty dog look? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, go give your pet a scratch from me. A real one, not one that means you're angry. I'll see you in the next one.